Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of things, including fisting, to talk about.
One of our listeners has come up with ideas for talking about fisting.
Oh, nice.
Oh, who's that? And what did they come up with?
Liz texted me, and she gave up a couple of ideas here. Fisting, pros and cons. Fisting, men or women. Fisting, fast or slow. I like these ideas. They're good.
I just fisting seems like there's like nothing. Maybe it's just me. So I mean, like no,
I'm sure it's-
no judgment, but I just feel like there's nothing sexy or.
No.
I
great
agree
about
with
it.
you. I don't see the appeal in fisting, but some people do. So
I guess so.
you know, the UK passed a law today about porn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's some shitty shit.
Like they can't show like female ejaculation
What?
or consensual BDSM.
Yeah, a lot of consensual BDSM things were just outlawed in the making of porn
In the UK?
In the UK.
Are you kidding me?
No, they snuck it in on a bill.
That is insanity.
Yeah,
that
like,
is insanity.
no face sitting, no female ejaculation.
No face sitting. That's not cool. Like, no, that's where I draw the line.
face sitting. It's not a hard limit for you. It's all must fucking happen for
Yes.
you.
Yes, that is insanity.
Yeah, spanking, caning, stuff
Caning,
like that.
okay. I'm okay with that.
So yeah.
baby.
Anyway, okay, let's talk
Okay.
about your God thing.
Okay, so here's the first thing. I have two things. The first thing is, what would you do if you were presented with incontrovertible evidence that the God of the Bible were true? So I've been thinking about this for a while. I mean, look, I've been asked this question before, and what I tell Christians usually is, if your God were real, I would still refuse to worship him because he's a fucking monster.
Yeah, he's still a dickbag.
He's a dickbag. That's a good word for it. However, today I was in my car and I was thinking about this, and I was saying, you know, that kind of sounds like the kind of story, like, you know, if like Muhammad Ali were drunk and talking shit in a bar, and I'm like, I'm gonna set him straight. You know, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna tell Muhammad Ali what's what. Like that
It would
sounds
not
like
be a problem today. The motherfucker couldn't hit you if
Okay,
he tried.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really easy for me to say that right now because he's dead. So, like, I can talk all this shit about Muhammad Ali I want because there's no chance he's gonna fucking hit me, right? But if, like, I was presented with, oh, Muhammad Ali is not dead. He's over there and he's talking shit about your mom, dude.
He couldn't hit you then either. He couldn't write his fucking name.
Muhammad Ali, 1963.
Right.
Yes, please.
Go with me here. So I'm just saying, like,
I'm bad with
It's
the suspension
easy.
of disbelief thing, man.
What I was thinking about today is if God came down from the heavens and was like, I'm here to fuck you all up, would I really be like, fuck you, bro? Or to be like, yes, sir? I mean, and I gotta say, like, probably, yes, sir. If it were a governmental organization, I would probably say yes, sir, and then work behind the scenes to undermine their authority. But if you're
I like
talking
this
about an
idea.
all-powerful deity, I might fall in line. Does anyone think there's a chance they wouldn't fall in line, like a good
What
chance?
you do is you sucker punch him and run.
Damn, bitches.
Good idea. I think there's a strong likelihood because we know how I get when I'm confronted and like cornered.
Yeah.
I hold on to a thing and I don't fucking let it go. Yeah, I'd probably be like, "Fuck you, God! Fuck you!" and all your magical.
And we
Screw you.
would all be sitting there with faces palmed, like, oh, bro, no.
Satan's probably pretty cool.
Watch, it's just like in South Park.
Here I am shoving pineapples up his ass.
Ustreamer79681 in the chat room says, just get in the Iron Chariot.
Ooh.
Bam! And that couldn't be
Done.
hard to do, right? I mean, how big does your Iron Chariot need to be God-proof?
Matchbox size,
I
probably.
was gonna say, I think you could probably just have like a little necklace with an Iron Chariot on it. It's like, fuck you.
It's my anti-God pendulum or
What
whatever they
now,
call it. Pendulum.
asshole?
No.
But honestly, and in all seriousness, if there was this God and he was going to send you into a lake to burn forever, would you really have the balls to say, you're a monster and your whole morality is crap? Or would you just say, okay?
Would I be allowed to talk shit about him behind his back?
Well, he would know because he's God, right?
Good point.
I'm just saying, like, I talk a good game, and I'm just thinking, like, if it actually happened, if there was a God who came down and was like, I'm here to fuck your shit up, I might not be as badass as I talk.
Well, I mean, this is, of course, in the situation where you are presented with the completely undeniable evidence.
Right.
Okay, the completely undeniable evidence is God face to face. You're discussing, this is God, right?
Whatever
You
it
see
takes,
him?
whatever it takes to make you
At the
believe.
point at which I'm talking to God, I'm pretty much fucking batshit insane, and hopefully I recognize that at that point. and hopefully, if that were to ever happen, I would have enough faith in my own, mental state to go, wow, I've gone off the fucking deep end.
If you haven't recognized that so far, Jay, the odds of it happening later on are pretty remote.
Yeah.
Just gonna say that.
Whatever.
All right. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is family reactions to your atheism. So I want to know the answers to 2 questions. We'll start with Jay. Are other members of your family atheist?
Yes.
Okay. And I think we've actually talked about this before. Maybe
I think we
even on
might
the
have,
air.
but go ahead.
Your family's reaction to your atheism: positive, negative, meh.
Pick a family member.
Okay, so just tell us, give us an overview.
I was introduced to atheism from family members, like uncles and brothers.
These are uncles who are touching you, or what?
We're not going to talk about that. No, I'm kidding. No, none of my uncles touched me. Those were my aunts. Again, kidding. But still.
He's like, I promise.
So one of my brothers is not an atheist, and he's not exactly thrilled about my atheism, and he's less thrilled about my vocal anti-Christian, anti-religiousness.
Anti-theism?
Anti-theism, thank you. He's not exactly thrilled about it, but we're civil and okay. My mother used to be very, very religious and no longer is after years of me basically
Fisting?
yelling at her going years of me basically going, that's fucking stupid, and this is why. She finally eventually came around, and she doesn't call herself atheist, but she doesn't have a strong belief anymore, at least as far as I know. My father is kind of always been like, yeah, whatever. I haven't had any real backlash from the family. On Facebook, I did find out that a large portion of my extended family that I rarely talk to all defriended me because of my atheism on Facebook. So I know that they don't like it, but they can go get fucked.
I'm gonna get mildly.
How about you, Courtney? How many, any other family members who are atheists?
Possibly my sister. Well, funny thing, my sister, when she was 12, was like, I'm an atheist. At the time, I was still religious, but we would talk about religion all the time. So I'm like, oh crap, I sent my sister to hell, right? So fast forward, a few years, I'm an atheist now, and my sister's like, I don't like the A word. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Word. It's just super naughty or something.
yeah, so there's that. Maybe my sister. As far as my family's reaction to my atheism, everyone just talks behind everyone's back in my family. So there wasn't much of a reaction.
Not to your face.
At least not to my face. I had a few people unfriend me. I decided to put it on my Facebook page. I'm like, I'm going to see how long it takes people to notice. So I'm talking to my mom one day, and she's like, oh, did you hear you're supposed to be an atheist now? And I was like, well, I am. And my mom goes, oh, okay.
like she just didn't care.
No.
Yeah, she was angry at first because it was my aunt's.
She thought people were talking
she
shit
hates
about
it when
you.
my aunts are nosy and they're just fishing around on my Facebook page. And she's like, oh, did you hear what they're saying about you? And I'm like, well, it's kind of true. She's like, oh, all right.
She's all like, okay,
And that
my
was
anger
the
is
end of
unfounded.
That was the end of that. So
That's not too bad.
I mean, your mom's not religious, is she?
No, my mom's an atheist. My mom was a member of American Atheists. I remember from
wow.
the time I was super little. Like I know I've told the story before, but I love how she tells the story that she says she was sitting there in the choir loft at St. Bartholomew's, which is the church that I grew up in. She's sitting there in the choir loft listening to this sermon. She said it was the same bullshit that I had listened to year after year after year. And she said a light bulb just sort of popped on over her head, and she's, well, this is a bunch of crap, isn't it? It's like, I love you, Mom. My mom rules.
Your family still hates you, right?
Depends on who you talk to. So, I mean, like, I had a really weird journey to atheism. Like, when I was in high school, maybe freshman or sophomore year, like, freshman year, I deconverted because I had my first real theology class. I'm like, this is a whole bunch of bullshit. And I started reading the Bible, didn't even make it out of Genesis. And I was like, this is all so stupid.
And then you had your first fisting.
Right.
You
Priest
were
fisting.
convinced that you were going to become a priest or
Yeah.
something, weren't you?
I'd spent some weekends at the local seminary over in Illinois. And that was going to be my thing. Because my thing was, this is the most important thing. If you're talking about your eternal life, this is the most important thing. Nothing else matters. Girls don't matter. Your job doesn't matter. It's all like so temporary. And then it's like, this much of time and then eternity. So nothing else matters. So that's why I started really doing it. I was like, okay, this is stupid. So I didn't really decide there was no God so much as I decided Catholicism was bullshit. And the first time my family got wind of it was like Thanksgiving. And everyone was like, okay, hold hands, bow your head, and we're going to pray now. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just going to, I'm just going to sit here. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to sit here quietly while you do that stuff. I don't believe it. And my dad had this, you're going to show some respect. You're gonna, you're gonna. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not. But I'm gonna sit here respectfully, and you can do what you believe. But I don't believe that that's true anymore, so I'm not gonna.
Way to fuck up Thanksgiving, Christian.
Yeah, I totally did. And then, afterwards, like because I was old enough to have, my parents would let me have like a little glass of wine, but then they left, and there's like some of their backwashes left and some of my backwashes left. So I'm like all putting it together, and we like made my little sister, we're like, we dare you to drink it. And she's like, oh, I'm going to drink it. So she's like chugs this glass of wine and then just like vomits everywhere.
Ew.
It was great.
Wow.
Nice. Cool.
So my parents basically said, oh, this is a phase that you're going through. And my mom now 30 years later, not 30, 20 something years later, still is like, this is a phase you're going through. And will still to this day tell me to my face, this is a phase, you're going to find your way back to God and whatever. It's stupid. But I mean, it took me a long time after that to stop looking for the religion that was true and just realize, okay, this is all
It's all
bullshit.
bullshit.
Right.
I love Petey Baby's family. Her family says, or she said that they were surprised she was volunteering so much they thought it was court appointed.
We do a shit ton of volunteering in Corpus Christi Atheist.
Until it comes to doing shit I need to have done.
Well,
Since it
whether.
rains. Otherwise, I'd totally be there.
Sure,
last-
Mr. Broken Foot concert guy.
The last few weekends have been weird for me, like not doing any volunteering.
I know, it's been weird for me
weird.
too.
Anyway, next topic.
So our Skype line is open, so if anyone in our chat room has family stories they want to tell about coming out as atheist to your family or whatever, or anything even remotely similar, go ahead and Skype us at Atheist Airwaves and we'll talk to you because we're friendly like that.
And yes, Petey Baby, it did rain. I'm not giving you guys shit for that one. You get a pass.
Are we going to do it again? Are you rescheduling?
I don't know because honestly, there's just a bunch of small stuff. We need like an army of children. They're closer to the ground.
I have two.
Yeah, we are going to arrange another one. I just don't know in what fashion we're going to do it yet. Anyway, that'll come up later.
Oh, were we gonna do any sort of like Christmas drive for anything? Didn't Stevens post something in the
There's a
Illuminati
couple.
group?
There's a couple of ideas floating around and nothing serious yet. So either Steven's thing or my thing, we'll see.
What was your thing?
We'll see who gets their shit together first. Foundation Beyond Belief is having a year-end thing, and I've been talking about getting a charity poker tournament together.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that.
Cool. All right, what's next on the agenda?
Vibrators and
Vibrators.
9-year-olds.
Okay, this is from another podcast.
Are you serious? This is what we're talking about? Okay.
This is from another podcast,
Okay.
and I find it a really interesting topic, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it.
Okay.
This was from the Savage Lovecast.
Oh, good stuff.
I am absolutely in love with Dan Savage. If he wasn't married, I'd probably hump him. Although he is poly.
I was going to say, he's got an open marriage. You can still hump him.
So he had a caller weeks ago. This is taking place over the course of a few episodes of his. It was a father. I think it was a single father. Said his 9-year-old daughter is, discovering her body, and she's found out she likes to masturbate.
Does she have a flag?
What?
Does she have a flag?
No, of course not.
Discover your stuff.
No, she's mounting the furniture in the living room and masturbating on the furniture.
Oh, really?
And he's like,
Is that causing stains?
Apparently, I don't know. And this father was very concerned, didn't know what to do about it, had to handle it. He didn't want.
There's
to,
like a spray you can put.
Yeah, just get a little spray bottle of
just
water.
stings a little bit. But he didn't know. So fucked up, dude.
I have a cat now. I got this spray for everything.
Anyway, he didn't know how to properly handle it. He didn't want to, shame,
Sure.
introduce shame with masturbation and all that. But he didn't know what the fuck to do. And another caller later.
How old
called
is
us-
this?
9.
9. Wow.
And another caller said, my daughter had a similar situation, and I went to the sex store and I bought her a very small, very innocuous looking vibrator. It's a little bullet, blah, blah, blah. It's pink. It looks like it could even be made for children if things were made for children. And explained to her that that's not something you do on the furniture. You do this by yourself, with
bad,
yourself.
Bad.
Only with yourself, by yourself, and in your bedroom. It's so fucked up. And then the next week, someone called back and said, that's good advice. However, you're not thinking about this from a male perspective. If anyone ever found out that a father bought his 9-year-old daughter a vibrator, he's probably going to go to fucking prison. Thoughts?
I don't know about prison, but
Well,
I mean, he would be
Ostracized.
He'd be ridiculed and probably taken before.
even ridiculed. I mean, but people would be upset.
Well, I mean,
about that.
I could see it landing in front of a judge for sure.
maybe.
I mean,
Yeah.
So,
And especially if he's divorced, I mean, that could have like huge
Yeah.
problems with custody stuff.
right. So how I mean, what's a good solution? I just thought it was a really interesting situation, and obviously I don't want to have kids, but I mean, how would you logistically and realistically handle that situation? Stop fucking yourself on the furniture, goddammit.
So our chat room is talking about when they started masturbating. One says 8, one says 10.
I don't remember when.
I'm trying to remember. It was not 8 or 10 for me. I remember. I have a distinct remember of my first orgasm.
Probably around 11.
I want to say it was like 14 or 15 for me.
Somewhere between 11 and 13, probably. I don't know.
So what you guys-
I honestly, mine was so late in life
Really?
that I didn't even I didn't really think much about sex until high school.
It's so weird. I totally remember what I was thinking about it.
Tell us, what were you thinking about?
The girl next door and just
Literally the girl next door?
oh yeah
Okay.
yeah she was so cute.
At least he's honest.
Yeah. So I remember that it was like I was like, what the fuck was that?
You're like, that was awesome. I want to do it again. Oh,
It
wait.
wasn't so much that it was awesome because it was more like what? I mean, it didn't get awesome till later, but the first one I was like, what the hell was that?
What is all this shit on my hand?
There wasn't much shit the first time. But anyway, not
Ball
for me
milk?
anyway. No ball milk.
Okay, so what else is on
But
the agenda?
well, let's talk about this a little more because I'm trying to. So my daughter is 11.
What would
and-
you do if your daughter started fapping on the furniture?
I don't know.
I think I call it schlicking for girls.
Schlicking? Is that like shellacking, but she's shellicking the
No, like
furniture?
schlick, 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 schlick.
I love that word actually.
That's
really
so much
good.
better than flicking the bean.
Oh,
That's so much better.
Playing radio DJ.
But I mean, I've talked to my daughter about masturbation, and she's thoroughly disgusted by the whole thing.
So she says.
She is.
There's a reason I'm not a parent.
She's like so like my son has been like very very sexual from a very young age. He's only 6 right now, and like I remember like going to the mall and he's in a stroller and he's like 1 and we're going by like mannequins in lingerie and he's like, fuck yeah, man. That's like that's what I'm talking about. Dude, can we stop here for a second? Because
Can I just hang out here for a little while, Dad?
this shit is awesome, Dad. And I'm like, hell yeah, son. I know exactly what you mean.
So
But like my daughter is just like, not so much. She thinks it's kind of gross, and I have to actually tell her like, no, that's not gross. That's like what people do, and
I think our at least 2 of our listeners have made a drinking game out of the post show.
No, in general, they take shots every time that.
Christian talks about his kids.
Yeah, that's been a thing.
I'm gonna fuck you up so
Really?
That's
bad
been a
next
thing.
show. You guys are gonna be so fucked at the end of the show. Don't even do that for real.
Call out on Wednesday. Just go ahead and take a vacation day now. Okay, so other than kids fucking themselves,
So a 9-year-old buying a I have to say, like, I'm not in that situation because my daughter's totally disgusted by masturbation and anything sexual right now. And that's just who she is. I mean, it's not.
Well, that's who I was
Is
too. Yeah, like I didn't even.
you're screwed, Ferris. You're gonna have a turpin on your hands. She's gonna dye her hair red and like guys with beards, and and fap to Sagan. I don't know.
Schlick to say.
Schlick to
Excuse
Sagan.
me.
I wish
Can
we.
that be the name of
I
the
was
post
gonna say,
show?
If we named post shows, that would totally be it. Schlick the Satan.
Do you have anything else on the post show?
All I have left is fisting, and you declined.
Well, no, we have fast or slow.
I just feel like fisting is not something that's like cool for most people.
Men or
So-
women?
Yeah, well, especially men. No, but
Most fisting is anal.
really.
The vagina's kind of hard to fit a fist in.
It stretches.
It does, but not as easily as a butt.
Courtney is like, why am I here right now?
It's like I'm gonna go home.
Why is this
guys.
happening? Why did I agree to be on the show with these assholes?
Again.
You only have yourself to blame.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a big fisting proponent, but for the majority of the fisting that I have been privy to the discussion of, it's been anal fisting.
That's really weird. I've never even heard of anal fisting, and I've never seen anal fisting porn. I've seen
Okay.
vaginal fisting porn.
So funny story.
I'm not interested in it, but
We were okay. So the kink group that I'm a part of, and by and large kink groups in general, when they have public events where they meet up and talk about stuff and have drinks or whatever, they call them munches.
right?
Okay, so I was at a munch in a Coffee Waves. We were in a Coffee Waves, and there was probably 15 or so of us there hanging out, just chatting, bullshitting. And somebody asked or brought up the topic of fisting, and one of the people in the group who likes to do some fisting was like, yeah, this and that, and started explaining it. And she kind of got into explaining it, and she's like, it's really weird. There's this point at which it kind of sucks you in, and she stands up and like does this Superman pose in the middle of Coffee Waves, and we look around, and there's like 4 other patrons that aren't involved, just staring in horror, listening to the story. Yeah,
That's awesome.
that was a good munch. That was quite funny.
That's rad.
Anywho,
Does anyone know anyone who's into fisting? I'm asking our chat room.
yeah,
anyone here?
I just told you a story about one.
No, okay. Anyone else? No? Yes? No?
It's probably not something you're just gonna know about your casual buddies.
Now the chat room's talking about priest
Unless they're
fisting.
unless they're you, because you know that about your casual buddies.
I know that about my kinky casual buddies.
No one is owning up to being into fisting or knowing anyone who's into fisting, and I don't blame them. There's like nothing like, and again, I'm kind of the stuff I'm into. It's not like
It's very mild.
this stuff. I mean, it's more. I'm more of a sensual person than I'm wanna like jam a fist up.
You know, I genuinely
Or
don't see the
this.
appeal. I don't understand the appeal. I don't want my fucking forearm inside of somebody. So
You
Ustreamer
might not
five
get back.
Ustreamer 5789 says anal fisting seems like a bad life decision.
no, that's anal fissures.
All right, should we shut this down?
Do
I don't
we
know
have
if we
anything
have-
else useful? Come on, Courtney, you got something? You got fisting?
No, I didn't really know what fisting was until about 10 minutes ago.
She's been over here quietly trying to visualize.
I've been processing this.
Fisting. Fisting. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
So tell us about your
doesn't
kinks.
sound fun. What?
They already know I like being told what to do.
Yeah.
Really, that's the best you got?
That's
The best
One
you're
of
going to
them.
admit.
the most I'm going to admit to you right now.
right now, so you're saying there's a chance? All right, let's kill it.
All right, let's go.
Bye.
I'm being called a prude in the chat room, and I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that.
I
Maybe
call bullshit.
maybe
I still think you have
okay.
skeletons in the closet, Christian. I really do. I totally fucking think you do.
I'm probably coming off more shy, little nice boy than I am. But these are the things that, like, if I'm totally honest about what I find, what gets me off, it's not that stuff. It's okay. This is a long conversation. This would be a really long.
I'm going to call it right now. Before we kill it, I'm going to call it
Alright.
right now in public. A year or so after Christian dies, it's going to come out. Whatever it is. Whatever
I have
his
not-
deep,
I have
dark secret
nothing-
is.
I have nothing like
his
that.
skeleton in the closet is
Nope.
going to show up.
Sweet.
And
Nope.
it's going to be Corpus Christi atheist founder.
Pervert motherfucker.
Insert headline.
Insert head. I really don't have anything like that. I really don't.
Okay. Sure.
It's not all like, Wesley Crusher, but I'm
Okay. All right, let's call it, guys.
all right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
We'll see you next Tuesday.
Don't die.
Go ahead and die.